What is up, YouTube? This is your girl Killer Rose. Okay, it's 8:41. It's at night. It's very late, but I decided I wanted to post nothing interesting. I guess the topic for today is why are all these YouTubers, streamers on Twitch or freaking Kick are getting arrested? I mean, or causing scenes outside of a country. It's so crazy. For me, I feel like being arrested and all that, I feel like that's all for clout. I feel like that's like you're like basically inviting everyone, like, look, see, look at me, I'm getting arrested, or look at me, I'm harassing someone and they're chasing me right now, right? So for me, I think that's all for clout. I think it's basically just to get like attention. It's like rage baiting people into like like into like, I don't know, doing stupid stuff with sacred statues or historic figures that are basically like happen to be like one of the most sensitive topics, or or figures that they have to represent someone. Or yeah, I mean, you already know who I'm already talking about. I don't need to say his name, but he's been in court many a times. I feel like they're gonna probably, I mean, I really hope that they do, because for one, they're getting to the point where a lot of people want to start immigration in other countries. They do. And not just in like major part like of Japan, and other countries want immigration, like the UK. They cannot stand people just basically scamming their own people, or basically push the locals. And I'm talking about, when I talk about locals, I'm actually talking about people who are in like born and raised and are legally, well, they're like natural born citizens of their own country, and they are being pushed out. And the immigrants or the illegals that are not from there, that are from another country, not saying all are bad, but some are good. Some of them are actually just being there for their education, or just want to be there because they want to be a part of their culture, and that's fine. But you got people like that, like other people who happen to take crimes to the extreme. They end up pushing religion, and they are they happen to like try to like dismantle of what their culture is. And it's so crazy. I feel like because of people like of like people who stream to harass people, I feel like they are more bringing more attention to like, what can we do to start immigration again. That's a lot of people are gonna have to discuss later on, if not right now, I mean soon. I feel like if they don't do it right now, it's gonna be a lot worse later. And so I feel like that's one of the issues. Just sorry guys, I don't know what I have, but yeah, I just for me, I mean, I'm like sick of these crimes. Seems like you gotta lock everybody up, and you gotta lock everybody up good. The justice system is not great. I really feel like other judges should be fired. I think they should. Multiple people that are dangerous into society have been let out, and they are still either A, committing crimes, B, cannot be found because of committing a crime, C, and either if they're not committing crimes, and not showing up to court, and they're dodging every bullet, every police findings, I guess, or C, they're like out of the country. Like one of the actual founders of what was it? What is it? It was Lord, I forgot about that. But it was definitely here in the States where I think it was Antifa. Yes, the original people who actually created the group Antifa, they decided to flee this country and live off into another country. Now, for me, I mean, luckily I'm not president. I would at least give another country a portion of money. Yes, people do happen to actually give a shit about getting paid. So the higher the bid, be like, you know what? Because of these people being on the FBI wanted list, most wanted list, and the military's list, we are gonna send you this amount of money to just barge, whatever you can do, get these people, and that way it could be under our custody and we can process them to the legal system, right? And just serve what needs to be served. These people obviously have no morals of other people, and when I'm saying that is that they don't care about freedom of speech, because when it comes to freedom of speech, guess what? They're gonna think of freedom of hate. That's what's gonna conspire, is that people are actually thinking that because of the right, they shouldn't have the right to speak. They feel like because of being a patriot is wrong. And for me, I am a patriot. I actually do feel like everyone should have rights. They, even the left should have rights. It's, a lot of people are gonna disagree, which, I mean, listen, if you love this country, then yes, they have every right to have freedom of speech. They have every right to have their First Amendment. Even though I disagree with everything that they say, sometimes I'm more shocked of how they say things. And oh, trust me guys, it gets me so mad when I had to, see and, look at these people. I'm like, this is the generation, our future generation. What will happen if I'm beyond 60 years old? I mean, or 50 years old, right? I mean, I feel like I am more exhausted by the day because of these people wanting to suppress free speech, or they're legitimately messing with people's pockets. And yes, I mean, I'm talking about banks who's trying their best to ban certain games off, or off their systems, or you can actually prevent people from buying things. That is crazy. For another thing that's crazy is AI actually taking jobs from people. Now, for me, I feel like that is dehumanizing people from a position that, I mean, I feel like AI, I mean, I'm not really tech savvy, but, sorry, I just hit one of the brakes here. It's okay. I was shifting my leg. So, what I'm basically saying is that AI is to the point where they're gonna take most of the people's jobs today. And, I feel like robotics also can take a lot of people's jobs, today as well. I feel like they could actually be the fundamental of taking warehouses jobs. I feel like that could be a real thing, and that's scary. I mean, at least for the people like me, honestly, I'm being honest, guys. It is it's scary for me, because I mean, what else am I gonna do? That's the real question a lot of people ask, is that if AI or a robotic can do what I do, what else am I gonna do? And could I take on that task? Because I mean, there's actually robots. I think it was I don't know if it's in China or some other country, but there's literally a robot serving food and drinks to people, I think. And it was crazy how they do it. There's no real person there. It was just a robot actually taking a meal. And I think they would place it on a table. And it's crazy, right? And then there's a robot police. And to have an AI as a boss, that is also crazy too. I feel like I would be more of a, I feel like if I had an AI as a boss, I think I would have quit immediately. I'm sorry. I'm not going to talk to a robot. I'd rather talk to a human face to face. If I had a boss and I was the either assistant manager or employee, I don't care. And if I was talking to my boss, I would rather have a human face to face. If I A, done something wrong, or B, they want to apologize for doing something that's wrong, that's totally up to that person. If it was an AI, no way. I'm sorry. They don't program robots to be apologetic. They don't have feelings. They don't. And honestly, it is up to the people who design these robots mimic people's behavior over and over again. I don't know, I think it had to be like Courage the Cowardly Dog. You know that computer, right? Well, it was basically like a robot, an AI robot computer who would tell Courage clues that he can actually have to basically save his owners, I think her name, I don't know, I think it was Ariel and Eustace. I'm not sure. I have to look at the names, but they both were in a life and death situation where there's other entities or people or crazy things happen, and he has to figure, the dog has to figure out what he needs to do. And sometimes he would do most of the things, but sometimes he has barriers that he needs to break, and he would go up into this office or attic, right? And he would type up the computer what he needs to get. And sometimes the questions that he asked are, sometimes the computer couldn't even answer, and so Courage is all on his own sometimes. And that's what I think about. I feel like if you're gonna program something, you better do it right, to the point where you don't feel like you're threatened by an AI robotic machine. Because for someone to test it out to see what would happen, let's say, okay guys, we're gonna stop having AI in our systems. We're gonna shut everything down. We don't want to have that in our systems. We're gonna try and have it only human based. Everything that's gonna be, people are gonna just work as is, and that's it. But that robot or that AI is gonna threaten that person, basically saying, oh well, look at this, at 2019, you're still married to your wife, yes, but in 2019 I actually have pictures of you going to a hotel and you are making out with a woman. Here you go. You're either gonna let me stay, and if you don't, I will send these files out right now as we speak. So you better, just respond it, in 5 minutes. That's all they need, right? Either to blackmail, threaten, and if any case, will legitimately kill you. And that's the crazy thing, is that these are mechanics, or these people who set up in systems of AI. They end up having robotics, basically telling themselves that they are perceiving you as a threat, and therefore they should eliminate you because you are a perceived threat. And so for me, I'm not comfortable with that. A lot of people, I think it's a joke, but hopefully it is, because a lot of people think that we should have military robots, and I'm like, you guys, like, you guys really want to have a society where there is military robots, military police? You think that because governments make those type of robotics that they're gonna let us go free? There's so many cameras out and about, it's not even funny. And I get it that they want to prevent from crime from happening, but there's always gonna be crime that's happening, no matter where you are, no matter like what day it is. There always gonna be a crime either set in place. And the drug epidemic is a bad thing, guys. It's totally bad. And I don't see it being cracked down. And it's more so of like ICE agents, which is, they're doing a great job, okay? I gotta say an applause for them. But I feel like there's more drugs, in this, not just in Arizona. Trust me, you can find it everywhere, in so many places. It's not even funny. I feel like a lot of people are doing it more because they can get away with it more, and that's a fact. They literally have like needle replacements that you can have, and you have Narcan, that in case of an actual overdose, you can either do it yourself or other people can do it for you and help you stay alive, so that way you could do more drugs in the future. Now, yeah, because that makes sense, right? I feel like they need to take the drugs away, and they need to take those things away too. I feel like they need to have more people that clean up more streets, whether if it's actually taking prisoners out and actually make them clean instead of paying for someone. But who knows, maybe other people want to get paid, or they want to do it, they want to clean up their own cities, stuff like that. I feel like there should be more programs that actually help people make money to clean up streets, or using safety precautions, of course, because you're dealing with needles and other things as well. That can be a risk to you if if you get accidentally injected. Yes, there's people, and sometimes you don't even need to like, you can have gloves on. You don't have to touch an actual drug to actually feel the effects of it. You can, and you can either sniff and smell it, and you will have the effects of fentanyl, which is, it's a scary thing, but it's true. I've actually seen it on a police cam, where this guy, he was handling drugs, right? He was like taking it as evidence, and all of a sudden he just got knocked out, and the police had to like take off his vest and everything and do, I think, CPR, or putting Narcan in his nose. I think both sides, I'm not sure. And then it goes into his system, right, and actually try to open his I don't know if that's right, correct me if I'm wrong. It just opens up his airways, and it actually combats the drug that he's using. And now, the one thing that makes me so upset is that someone made purple fentanyl that is basically contributing the most damage that you can do to a human body, and that is by producing purple fentanyl. It is worse than what it is with regular fentanyl. You couldn't even take one drug of fentanyl and still be okay, just to live another day and take it again. This purple fentanyl can literally kill you in one dose or one pill, because I think they were more like, they look like what are those they're not capsules, but they're like purplish, like brown, like something you can like take for vitamins, or what is it, I mean, or like one of those medications that they're like chewable medications that you can take. I'm not sure, they're not capsules, but they're like actual chewable, like circle like things that you can chew on, and it's actual fentanyl. It's crazy. It is the most craziest thing. I think it was, I'm not sure what it was. It was a documentaries. These people, they would go out and, you know, they would get interviewed, and or like not themselves, but it could be a mother or father, and it's so sad. They would tell their son or daughter's part of the story, I don't know, nephew, whoever is taking their, got to listen, personally know their story well enough to know that, that this is their son, or uncle or grandpa or grandma, they either raised that person to basically try to give them a better life. And sometimes, you don't have to be there to know what a daughter or son is going through. Sometimes it comes out of nowhere and it just hits you like, I don't know how to describe this, because I had never been into this position before, but it like hits at, you as hard as an anchor hits the ground. And I'm not sure how that weighs, but if it wasn't with the water, I mean it would have still, with the water it would still been heavy enough for it to actually penetrate to the ground, right? So it basically destroys you, knowing that your son or daughter overdosed and passed, and through their struggles, without you knowing, you end up becoming, well, there's a term for it, survivor's guilt, where you think that it was your fault because you weren't there to protect them. That you, in many other cases, you feel like you're the closest to your son, daughter, or a person that or that you raised, or that you actually a family member that took care of them at that time, or had taken care of them at the time. Maybe they're grown adults who have moved, have children, etc., etc. And you think that because of your lack of awareness, that you end up blaming yourself for it. No, and that's not the case, guys. And what I'm trying to say is that that there's a lot of things going on in this world that is very messed up. I feel like we as a nation, as a country, should put our Americans first. A lot of people are thinking that that we should put in our interest in other countries, interest, because they're going through hardships. But we are the most important people that are going through a lot of hardships right now. For one, is that the educational system is lacking. We are not getting enough people studying. And I fear that people are going to become more dumb daily. I feel like it's because of the parent, not the teachers. There's both sides, right? There's teachers and there's parents. There's teachers who teaches at school. There's parents at the home that have the responsibility of their child's education. And I feel like CPS should be more involved. If they have like, I think it was 6%, I think like either if it's kindergarten or first graders that are not having basic reading levels. And then I think there was like I don't know if it was just like freshmen who cannot do basic math. And I mean, yeah, I mean, I haven't done like PEDMAs for a long time, let me tell you that, okay? Which is I think it was parentheses, exponents, division, multiplication, adding, and subtracting. That's PEDMAs. And I guess there's like fractions too that they're starting to fail. And I'm like, listen, if you're gonna be a doctor, if you're gonna be a person who does freaking electrical stuff, or like if you're gonna go into forensics, or accounting, all these other things, you shouldn't really give a shit about. Consumer mathematics, I think that's the most important thing that people should learn about. And now what I'm saying is that people should know what, not just because of what they're buying, but because of how they should save by creating a budget and actually managing their finances in the future. I'm talking about you being 18 years old, you're automatically in the adult world. You're 18, now you can vote, you can smoke a cigarette, you can do whatever you want now. You can move out of mom's and dad's house now. You are not obliged to stay in your parents' house. You can actually find a job that's decent enough. And when I say decent, because it's freaking hard for everyone to know exactly where you need to go. But if you actually with the job market right now, it's fucking shit. I'm sorry, but if you can find a job that's actually worth of like paying for an apartment, I don't know, it's tough, honestly. If I was gonna start over, it's gonna be the cheapest one that you could possibly find in your area, or B, you get a car that's for $3,000 to $5,000 minimum, okay? Because I mean, unless you have an area where they can sell you the cheapest price, and you can cut it, right? You can just pay it in full. I wouldn't want to actually have loans under my name, because that's just money that's actually being wasted per month. Trust me on that. I mean, I cannot stand loans. I see people have loans and it bothers me. For some reason, I'm like that's not money. I mean, yeah, sure, you got a nice fancier car or a truck, but guess what? At the end of the day, you're gonna pay $100, or a few $100 just to say that I have the fanciest truck in the whole wide world, and I'm a big man or a big woman, and guess what? No one's gonna stop me. And it's like, it's a waste of time. Like, stop. Like, if you're I wouldn't want to impress anyone, because you really shouldn't give a shit of what anyone thinks. You are the person in the spotlight. Well, there's a main character syndrome, so don't act like that. But what I'm trying to say is that you are gonna be in the world by yourself. No one's gonna hold your hand or tell you what to do. They're gonna leave you alone because they're gonna have a life of themselves, and it's nothing personal. That's just the way it is. That's how people grow and actually go to places. And And I mean, I've been to places, but I just, I didn't give a shit about my 20s until I was like 27. I thought about it a whole lot of what I needed to do, because when I got out of my apartment, I was so defeated because I felt like I had a major success in my life, but I felt like I was a total failure for not fighting for my independence. Not really. I love my parents. They were wonderful, wonderful people. But for me, it was like I hate the fact that I had no money, that I was strapped for cash. My parents, they would help me for so many times. Sometimes I would have cash on my own to eat, and I did a shitty job at managing my money. And when they would bring me groceries from time to time, and if they can't, then I'll be good. I would make sure that I have food in the fridge, but I did not have a healthy mind back then. 9:12. Gotta wrap this up. This is a long video, guys, and I'm sorry. One thing for sure is that I basically took it at heart. I realized, because of my past mistakes, I realized that the people that I cared about didn't care about me. I realized, because I left social media, I would reach out to people, but they didn't reach out to me. And yeah, sure, they would say a happy birthday, this and here and there. They never really check up on me. And in reality, that really made me sad. I'm like, wow, yeah, sure, you guys have families. You guys, have jobs and kids. But, from some time to time, I would actually think of people who used to be who used to be at my high school, and, sometimes elementary school, right? And I'm like, these people, I used to call them my friends. And yeah, there's some friends that I actually respect because they have a life of their own, right? I know them personally. I mean, it was my fault for not trying my best to actually get engaged, trying to like connect again. But it felt so weird because I feel like they are having a life on their own, and it's insane. It's insane. Time goes very fast for a lot of people. I mean, for me, it was one of them that as a 29-year-old, I didn't realize how far have I come, like I didn't realize people would actually wouldn't talk to you. And it's very, I mean, like yeah, it disappointed me. I was like, okay, guys, I see how it is. I have thought about you guys. I have thought about, maybe we should all gather together, see if we have common ground. But it seems like they're all in their own little world, and I'm like, okay, that's fine. That's the set of reality that I needed to have, and I'm grateful for you guys. You guys should have a good life, and I hope you guys do. And it's just a shame that I try to connect with the people that I used to know. And yeah, that song, right? Okay. And so it was insane. I mean, if you look back, have you ever had friends that that you have a strong bond with? You guys go way back, and it was nothing but just actual love and happiness like you have for each other. You see them grow and strive to be the best man or woman. I mean, I'd never have that kind of friendship, you know, besides my family, right? And I'm like, you know what? I'm gonna try my best and be that type of person that's gonna try and glow and strive for the best, because I really put myself in a position where I was a people pleaser, and I would love people to the extent that I would push away my own feelings and my own thoughts aside. Even if they didn't treat me right, I wanted to treat them better, to think that they could treat me better as well if I treated them good. You know what I mean? If you don't, it's fine. It's basically, I would give them more than what they deserve. And that's just how it was for me. But yeah, 29 years old, and it's almost gonna be December. I already know by the time it's like I'm 30, it's done, dude. I mean, like 30 years old. Like I couldn't believe how far I came, right? To this point, like 30 years old. You know, it's seemed like a less of a big deal, but you know, just like for me to think, like when I was 20 years old, I was barely getting into the workforce. The first job that I had was me being a caregiver in the middle of Medical Lake. It's actually pretty cool. In Spokane, Washington State, I would say that that's the best area to live in. I mean, I think it is. It's close to Oregon, though. I hear a lot about Oregon, but anyways, no. So, oh shoot, 20%? I better go, guys. It's been nice talking to you. It's 9:18. It's gonna be late, but hopefully my mom doesn't call me and I had to go back, alright? Hopefully not. If you watch at the end of the video, I do appreciate it. It's a long-ass video, and I'm sorry. It's just one of those things that I do want to talk about, and I have more to speak about as well. But, yeah, I'll see you guys in the next video, okay? Peace.